Today I'm going to be checking out the new One Piece collab that they have at Popeyes right now. I was really not expecting this. I didn't know that One Piece was so big that Popeyes would be interested in doing anything like this. But here it is. It is a pretty, I don't know, nice box, I guess. I mean, it's got Luffy on it, got Chopper on the side. I don't know what their boat's name is on the other side, but just like a quick look at the box. It's a two-piece meal. You can get it with like spicy or regular and choose what cuts of meat that you want. It also comes with a side. You can choose your side. I like to go with the, what is it called? Mashed potatoes and gravy? Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of that. But basically, I did want to check out this drink because it's supposed to be some like fruity gum drink. And what's interesting about the whole thing in general is just how big anime has gotten and mainstream that it's gotten in, I don't know, recent years, not even recent now, maybe like the last 10 years or so. Ever since, I think, Attack on Titan or Boku no Hero came out. I think that's when people really started to think of anime as like a real source of media that anybody could watch. But I'll try this gum lemonade first. I didn't read too much about it, but it's supposed to be fruity. Let's try without mixing first. Kind of just tastes like lemonade. And then with the mix. Yeah, like a very berry forward lemonade. I don't know why I'm thinking of hibiscus right now. But if you were to think of like a Starbucks fancy refresher thing, you know, that would cost you like $5.45 for a grande. That's kind of what this reminds me of. I like it a lot. I don't know if I said this already. My mind is everywhere, but I also wanted to take some time, since this is like an anime themed thing. This is probably very annoying. Since it's like an anime themed type of meal, I would take some time to just talk about some of the favorite animes that I've had throughout like my time growing up. I've kind of been out of the loop for the past whatever amount of years, like when Boku no Hero came out or Attack on Titan. But I do have a bunch of media. I'll go through a little bit of my collection here from anime from before that time. I have no real order for this, but this will be more just like a chill session while I kind of react to, I guess, this new item and this new item. The rest is just Popeyes. All right, this is Chopper's something strawberry cake. It reminds me of that Patrick Star cake that came out recently for the SpongeBob collab that Burger King had. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the exact same cake, just in another form. I don't know who owns Burger King or Popeyes, but it looks very similar. I remember that the Patrick Star cake also was pink, had these little pink swirly things, and then the crunchy things on top too. It's very, very heavy on the strawberry, but I like it. It's not overbearing or anything. It's just like a nice thick frosting though. See how this kind of comes up as a chunk? The frosting is a little sweet for me, but I would still eat this whole thing. And I say that as I go for almost half of this right now. All right, like I said, no order. We're just gonna go through some of this stuff. First thing on the top of the pile, a lot of my childhood, like teenage years, I was watching a lot of Gundam. I got really into the lore. If you don't know about Gundam, like the original Gundam is like, people compare it to Star Wars. It's like Star Wars space opera. So they have like this original one, and then they have this other movie that's like set into the future, Gundam F91. I wanted to show off like a couple different types of Gundam things that I have, just to show that I'm a true fan, you know? When I was a kid, my cousins had this like bootleg Chinese copies of Gundam Seed. So I have this, it's the first half of it, and I have the second half somewhere. I may have lost it. But that's what I have in my Gundam collection to show for now. I'll put that down. In my closet, I have a whole bunch of Gunpla too, which is like the Gundam model kits. I was really into that too for a little while. And then I got a little too busy, and then I was unable to build all of them. And I think that that's like a very common thing with people who collect those model kits, is that they just start to collect and hoard because you want to build everything, and then at some point you just get overtaken by them. But that's exactly what happened to me. All right, let's try this drumstick out. It's looking good. I think it's the spicy one. It should be, at least. It's not the crispiest fried chicken in the world, nor the saltiest. I think it could use some of this Cajun sparkle. I always love that they offer this, because the Cajun sparkle just gives it such a like immediate kick of flavor that I think that some of the Popeye stuff needs sometimes. So this is the perfect time to use it. And I'm just really gonna drench it on it. There we go. Now it's like a lemon peppery kick. At least I think Cajun sparkle is kind of lemon peppery. I don't really know what else to compare it to. Drumsticks are so good. And I'm one to really not waste any of the crunchy bits either. So I'll really enjoy these. I love crunching on them. And we'll go to the next thing in my pile. I think it would make sense for me to keep going on this pile instead of this one. Also in the mecha realm, I got this End of Evangelion movie. I've had this since I was like 12 years old. I'm pretty sure back then I just watched Evangelion because I thought that the giant robots were cool. I had no idea what was going on. I had to rewatch it again when I was like 22 years old. And then I still kind of didn't know what was going on. So definitely was watching it back then as a kid just because I thought that the fights were cool and like there was a lot of cool imagery. But yeah, one definite classic of an anime. And then also Code Geass. This is one that like really captured my attention. I remember I watched like 25 episodes maybe in one sitting when I was like 19 years old. I just found somewhere online to watch them and just went through so many of them. Like a whole day and a half was spent on just like sitting there consuming this show. It's one for like the edgelords of back in the day, like the mid 2000s, early 2010 edgelord. But it was so good. Like just look at this dude. It's kind of giving like Persona 5 vibes, but a little bit more edgelord, milady, fedora type person. At least that's what I think of it. Hope I don't offend any of you out there. But as you might be able to tell, I am or I was one of you at some point. I was definitely a weeaboo. Do people still use that term, weeaboo? But we're gonna move on. This video is definitely for people who know about anime at least, or if you just like hearing people talk passionately about things that they like. Maybe some of this will be of a little bit of interest to you. More chicken though. First chicken, then talk. There's that crunch I was looking for. Mixed with the Cajun sparkle. All right. I just had to take a moment to just enjoy my food for a second. There's probably things I could say, but sometimes you just have to take it all in. All right, we're gonna move on to this stack, and we'll go kind of quickly. But Suzumiya Haruhi, this is the movie. It's about a girl who's like God or something, except she's in the form of a high school girl, and any one of her whims kind of come true. She doesn't know it though, but her friends do, and they kind of have to abuse her. So she's like bossy, and everyone just kind of goes along with what she says. But you know, a lot of goofy antics happen and drama, high school stuff. Yeah, it's really good. I don't have much to say about that. And then we're going on to one of my favorites when I was really growing up, was like this genre of anime that was considered like the cutesy stuff. This is K-On! And it's about a group of high school girls in a club where they play where they play music. They just play lighthearted music. And in this movie, they go do a concert in the UK or something. But it's always good feelings, good vibes, good music. For a little while, I was going on like a anime movie, what would you call it? An anime movie stint where I was trying to collect just movies. So of course, like when Your Name came out, this was like the one that everyone was saying was like the newest classic movie of anime that like anyone could enjoy. I only kind of agree with that because there's still some like very anime stuff in it that I don't think a lot of, well, people would call them normies, but normies would enjoy. Liz and the Bluebird. This is, I don't think I like the movie that much, but the show that it's based off of, or like a spin-off of, is really good. It's called Hibike Euphonium. Hibike Euphonium, and it's about girls girls and boys in a Japanese high school band, like a wind ensemble band. So like nerdy stuff, you know, clarinet, saxophone, stuff that I did when I was growing up. And I got Wolf Children. I watched this like twice. I don't exactly remember what it's about, except that this woman has kids with a half wolf guy, and then they have kids who are also half wolf, and that gets them into trouble. In the back, I see like a little half wolf girl right here. Oh, you can see the front too. Geez, I talk way too fast sometimes. All right, more chicken though. And I also wanted to mention, I don't think I mentioned, I don't really like One Piece either. It's been around my whole entire life. I've seen it in like all the video games I've played growing up, like Jump, Ultimate Stars, and all that on like the DS. But I think really it was just like the whimsy of it, and especially the art style. It never really clicked with me. It's probably very good because so many people watch it and recommend it. And when they get other people into it, they like end up binging all 900 episodes. And they can't get enough of it. But I've never really gotten past episode like 3. And I don't intend on watching One Piece either, so you can call me a One Piece hater, but that's just how I am. No one's got time for that anymore. The chicken was good though. Better be glad that they didn't give you one piece of that. All right, let me clear my desk a little bit. So it's just more like, I don't know, like a clear shot. All right, we're winding down, I promise. And next up, we're gonna go with this Dragon Ball GT Complete series that I have. This was actually my very first introduction to Dragon Ball in general. When I was a kid, my cousins, they were really into like having bootlegs of stuff. So I think the very earliest memory of a Dragon Ball game in general that I played was Dragon Ball GT Final Bout on the PlayStation 1. And that whole game was in Japanese, and I just pressed X and square and span buttons. And I remember losing to my older cousin over and over and over again. But yeah, Dragon Ball GT, my favorite version of Goku is Kid Goku, or turned Kid Goku from GT, because he's just a savage in that. And then I have these random Dragon Ball movies. I wish that I could collect them all, but this is just some of them. I think that there's like 3 more of these, of like 3 movie packs that I wish I had, but I just don't have them yet, but maybe one day. And then the last thing, when it comes to DVDs or Blu-rays at least, are these concert sets. This is probably the thing that I probably shouldn't tell people the most, or maybe it's something else that I have over here that I enjoy. But this is Love Live. This is where my coaster comes from, that I always use for like focus testing in my camera. But yeah, it's like Japanese idol music, but they made a show about anime girls about it. And then in real life, they do concerts, like the voice actresses who are the singers for the characters, they do them, and here are the live concerts. It's their first 2 of this group, and I collected them just because I was a huge fan. That was like all I listened to for a little while. Some people might think that the like Love Live music and Idol Master music kind of sounds like Chipmunks. I would agree with them, but I still enjoyed it anyways. And finally, I just wanted to talk about my tattoos a little bit. Hold on. There's something I gotta get. All right, we're gonna start with my right arm. This character right here, her name is Kuroneko, and she's from this anime. This is a game, but it's called Oreimo. It's spelled Oreimo. It's another like slice of life type thing. There's like some romance in it. And she was the coolest character in here, and probably like my first really deep liking into an anime character. So yeah, Kuroneko, she looks really cool. She's like that gothic Lolita style. You can see her right here. Yeah, I just ended up really liking her. My penguins here. I know you guys seen these penguins. This is from an anime called Mawaru Penguin Drum, which Mawaru kind of translates to spinning or turning. And I don't have the anime of it, but this was basically the first anime that I watched when I got back into trying to watch anime for a little while. It was like the beginning of my stint, and I asked my friend Steven, what show should I watch? And he recommended Penguin Drum. So it's kind of like a weird take on like magical girl and these high school kids dealing with destiny and like going against destiny and using their free will. It's very cool. This girl is, I think they're the main character's sister or something, and she dies, and then she becomes the princess of the crystal. She has a really cool outfit. I've actually never taken her out of this box before. Maybe I'll have to do it on one of these videos someday. But as you can see on the top, they got the penguins on it, somewhere on there. And that's where my penguins come from. This was actually my first, or maybe my second tattoo, I don't remember. My penguins were my second tattoo, and I really need to fill in this space. So I'm just gonna say it now. There's a lot of negative space here that I need to fill in. Maybe I was gonna do like some Chinese like branches and a bird or something, you know, in that like watercolor style. That's what I was thinking about doing. And then, what else do I have on my arms? The snake. I just thought that snakes were cool. When I was a kid, the black mamba was my favorite animal for some reason, just because it was like a black snake that could go really fast. I remember in 4th grade, I did a research paper about it. To whatever extent a 4th grader can do a research paper on, but you know, you go to your library, you use Google. I think Google was a thing back then. And then you learn facts about animals. So some reference art that I used for this snake tattoo here, give you an okay look at it. Let me try to find it in this book. This is from a show called Bakemonogatari, which is, it translates into English as like monster story. But there's this girl who kind of becomes like a snake god in it. And this was an art from this book that I have. And this art book and like a lot of the images and like scenery from this show is so good. But I think that this is just like a concept art. So there's the girl. I think she's laying down with the snake god that she kind of fuses with. But I use this to send to my tattoo artist as an inspiration for my tattoo. So that's how this came to be. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. I think that that's everything that I wanted to show off. It's just cool to talk about this stuff. And then now apparently anime is so popular nowadays that you can talk about this stuff. Maybe some of it I shouldn't have. Maybe some of these things that I showed off are questionable to some people who know. But it is what it is. I'm not ashamed of it. And I am who I am. So the One Piece meal, it was okay. I mean, I'm sure it was overpriced. This lemonade is good though. I wish it was kind of sparkling. I think that'd be good. But it's also good as is. Just tastes like a delicious fruity drink. And yeah, I know that this was a long one, but I know some people enjoy just like the hangout aspect of these videos. Max, I'm talking about you. And others, of course. Like, I remember a lot of people were like, oh, I like it, Mason, when you just talk about stuff. So my videos don't always have to be super food focused. But yeah, that's just a little bit into who I am and what makes me me. I just realized I have Japanese on my shirt too. I think this is a tiger. I think he's saying stop. Yamero. I think it means stop. He has a butthole here. Can you see that? Yeah, they drew the butthole. It's a pretty cool shirt. I like it. And with that, I will talk to you guys later. And thanks for watching and see you in the next video. I cannot talk anymore. I've been talking too much. Bye.